Hello and good morning, and thank you for coming and lending me your ears on this one. I want to talk to you about RareX. My name is James Durrant. I'm the Managing Director of RareX. RareX was formed in 2019 before rare earths were really fashionable because of the fundamental thematic of rare earths and a lot of vision that we were going to get into the space that we are in now, which is very clearly a very strong geopolitical drive to diversify supply chain constraints, both because of the strategic implications of rare earths, but also the demand growth that's coming in rare earths. And so we built the company up from 2019 with the vision to become a materially significant component of the rare earth supply chain. And we've done that across three parts. We acquired the Cummins Range carbonatite project in Western Australia, which is Australia's largest undeveloped rare earth project. It's got an awful lot of gallium in there, an awful lot of scandium in there, and it's got a lot of phosphate in there, which is very important because that's a pathway to monetization with relative ease. We're on an acquisition move with Iluka Resources as a consortium partner into Kenya for a very significant project there. And we have an exploration portfolio specifically looking for carbonatites. So geophysical, geochemical targeting carbonatites, mostly in Western Australia. The minerals that we've got in the spectrum, they're all centered around rare earths. I mean, rare earths probably don't need much introduction, but it is incredibly supply chain constrained. They're incredibly useful. They are on a growth curve that's probably going to see them double in demand over the next 5 to 10 years. And their strategic implications, their strategic uses, means it is a very hot topic for politicians around the world at the moment. But also because of the rare earth the rare earths, we see ourselves in the gallium space, the niobium, the scandium space, which are very speciality metals. Gallium in particular, which we have at Cummins Range, which we have at our Carlisi exploration site, is becoming the metal for AI chips. And we're seeing that doubling over the next 10 years as well in demand. Niobium, scandium, often associated with rare earths, they're speciality alloying metals, very, very important, and certainly getting critical mineral attention across the world. And for us, phosphate. Learning about phosphate when it comes to rare earth projects, incredibly important. They're almost always there when you're looking at hard rock carbonatite rare earths, and it does provide an alternative value stream and an alternative market to tap into. Cummins Range itself then is the primary asset that we're working on. It is a JORC resource of significant magnitude, Australia's largest undeveloped rare earth project, 1.6 million tonnes of contained rare earths in the ground. We're working on the mining license currently with our native title holders. That'll be the final regulatory hurdle for that project. We've got a sealed road running past the project, which has just been built by the federal government. We've got access to land at port, 4 hectares of land under option at the port, an infrastructure sharing agreement, a haulage contract. So a lot of it is it's de-risked, and the port we're aiming through in the north of WA has just received port of first entry, which means ships can now come in without having to dock at another port beforehand. And it's becoming a highly relevant project because of its critical mineral makeup in rare earths, in gallium and scandium, and the phosphate content. It's getting a lot of attention from the state and federal government, which is excellent. The local market is in demand of phosphate, and so I spoke to that just a moment ago. Bringing phosphate on as a co-product is very important, both for social license to operate, but also for a pathway to monetization. And we're in WA, we're a very well-known mining jurisdiction. And it does stand out quite well against its peers. Here we have the high-grade component of the resource, it's about 50 million tonnes at 1%, so it sits very comfortably within a nice spectrum of peers. And I highlight there as well the gallium content. This is really important to know. Gallium will add a considerable amount of credits to the product that come out of Cummins Range. And we've got the best gallium intercepts on the ASX. And also we've got the highest grade scandium that's probably ever been reported. So very, very significant in terms of a multi-critical mineral project. And our focus over the next 3 to 6 months is twofold. Metallurgy. That is most important. Where all those metals present and deport through the metallurgical process in the generation of product, so that those credits can be actuated, and the mining lease. They're the 2 main components to make this project come into its development phase. The mining lease is contingent upon the native title holders signing off on the heritage agreement, and we were advised to travel next week to go and speak to the final groups before their AGM to sign off on that mining lease. So we're very, very close now to getting the permitting on this project, which is excellent. Now, maintaining that thematic, carbonatites with rare earth hosting, we have put forwards a proposition to the Kenyan government in a consortium with Iluka Resources to acquire and develop the Marima Hill project in Kenya, which is a coastal asset. The reason we like it is because of its similarities to Cummins Range and what we've learnt in the metallurgy and the phosphate component in particular of developing that asset. And we've presented a proposition to Kenya which uses the Iniaba facility, which the federal government are backing for $1.65 billion, which is Iluka's component. It's a very elegant technical solution to present to the Kenyan government. And we as RareX focus on developing the mine and the local beneficiation, the local value chains. So we've put forward that proposition. The project is Indian Ocean, coastal on the Indian Ocean, as is the refining capability being built by Iluka. So it's a very technically elegant proposition, we think, and a very geostrategically elegant proposition because of Kenya's relationship with both Australia and the US. I would stress we've applied for this project. It is entirely up to the Kenyan government to make a decision as to how this project proceeds, but we've got good reason to believe that we've got a very high probability of being able to acquire this and give it the attention that this project deserves. So fascinating to watch. This would be a very interesting series of events over the next couple of months on this project, I think. And as I always say to the team, it's very important to maintain a bit of a pipeline of projects in this space. And we have a pipeline of exploration assets in Australia. They're particularly focused on carbonatites. This one we call the Carlisi project. It's a very large alkaline intrusive complex, which is the geology needed to form those carbonatites. We've got 5 carbonatite targets. We know it's a rare earth and niobium mineralized system. We are going to be putting, with federal government grant money, some drill holes into those carbonatite targets if one intersects a mineralized carbonatite in this region. And bear in mind, there's been no exploration here below the superficial overburden material, then it's a very significant potential discovery. And we're along the trend from some very well-known carbonatites which are mineralized. So we think it's an excellent jurisdiction to be moving through. So we've got a very large land package there. At Mount Mansbridge, this is a heavy rare earth exploration project near Browns Range. Browns Range have an offtake agreement with Iluka as well. I mentioned earlier Iluka are a partner of ours. This project is surrounded by Iluka tenements, and we've identified a new mineralized system up here in xenotime in this new vein. So we're working on the next stage of exploration to really understand how far that xenotime carries in the system. And finally, and slightly more longer term, is this what we call the Piper project. It's a very large carbonatite target in Northern Territory. The Northern Territory takes a little longer to work through the regulatory process, but it was found, and we are in joint venture with the company that discovered the WA1 Luni deposit, which is a very significant niobium find in the centre of Australia. So it's a long trend from that, and it was brought to us by the firm that found that. And it's a long trend from Nolan's Bore, which is Arafura's rare earth project. So it's in a very good location. We're probably a year or so away from being able to explore that because of the regulatory process. I think before closing with RareX, it's important to know that RareX also carries investments, and these are in publicly listed companies that cover copper, lithium, and rare earth trading. And they currently have a cumulative value of about $5.2 million, and they're very liquid. So we're able to exercise those if we choose to. Kincora Copper has got a number of very significant partners for very many millions of dollars of exploration over in the eastern part of Australia, looking for deep porphyry copper. They're being very, very successful at the moment. Cosmos Exploration is developing Bolivian lithium brines, which is a fantastic thematics part of the lithium triangle that's never been tapped into, and Canadian Rare Earth Corporation trade rare earths and developing a refining capability in Southeast Asia. So I think we've got quite a nice package of aspects to this business, and look forward to your continued interest. Thank you.